So this video is being brought to you by James at Top Dog Law. You've seen him on the channel a couple times. You heard a little bit of his story. He's a good friend and he's also in recovery.
What's going on, guys? Top Dog Law is a law firm. We do mostly car accidents, slip and falls, medical malpractice, and sexual abuse. We want to help as many people as we can anywhere in the country. If you're looking for a trusted lawyer, send us a DM on Instagram at Top Dog Law or on the website www.topdoglaw.com. Also, stay tuned. I'm going to jump in later in this episode and give you one of my secrets for staying sober.
Because I get so many messages of people, and even myself, every time this type of season comes around where it's, you know, cold and dreary and ugly, I don't do so well. Yeah. You know, I don't do so well. I get depressed. I get stressed out more. Yeah. It just isn't my time of year by far. And I was like, man, I need to take a vacation. Yeah. You know, and soak up some of that sun.
You should, bro.
Listen, if I would have had if I wouldn't be understaffed right now, yeah, I would have been in Puerto Rico. You know, I would have been in Puerto Rico. Damn. Like, no doubt about it. So what do? You know, and it's important. The conversation that we had coming up in the in the elevator, where you were saying how, you know, the color palette of where you're at right now, as far as the sky and the trees and stuff like that, puts you in such a better mood. It's
crazy. So I just relocated out to Arizona, and I'm still living in Philly, but I just have a place out there, which has been like a super luxurious situation I've never had my whole life. You know, I was somebody who grew up around here, and obviously when I got sober at 25, I had absolutely nothing. So being able to go out to Arizona, like, what a blessing of recovery to even have an option in my life. But I know there's a lot of people out there who are struggling, particularly when it's this time of the year, man. Like, you know, it's snowy, it's rainy, it's dark outside. And so I think you gotta just have the tools in your toolkit to maintain your sobriety. I mean, I think if you're a meeting person, like, now is not the time to be missing your meetings, you know? Yeah. Like, if you're somebody who, you know, uses meetings to stay sober, that's one of your primary tools, you're in AA or NA, like, and you're somebody who's going to meetings consistently, I think it's important to not use the snow or coronavirus or whatever excuse you have in the book to justify not going to meetings. Because, you know, the meetings, you know, when I was going to meetings every single day, there was an element of it that it really made me feel relaxed. Like, when I came out of a meeting,
it's like coming out of church.
Yeah, yeah.
For me, I definitely equated that feeling of coming out of a meeting, and you feel so much less weight on yourself, you know, and you've heard people speak about what they're going through, and maybe you can relate, or maybe you hear what somebody's going through, and you be like, damn, I really need to put my shit in check, because my shit ain't that bad.
Yeah, bro, I love this saying that's like, you go into a meeting and everybody throws down all their problems, like their cards, right? Like their cards, like you're playing poker or something, and you're in your head all week like, yo, my problems, this, that, and the other, this girl I'm dealing with, or this job situation, or this living situation, and then you hear like somebody who's got a parent about to die, or somebody whose brother is just OD'd, and you're like, oh, I guess my stuff isn't that bad. You know what I mean?
Of course. We always think, you know, and it's all subjective, but we always think what we're going through is the worst. And we thought that about the shit we went through last time, that it was the worst, and we got through it, right?
Always got through it. And then, like, outside of the meetings, I think you also have to have strategies for, like, being out and about. Like, for example, one thing for me in the morning, I always work out. Like, when I got sober, I think I was like 260 pounds. I was overweight, bro. Like, I was like a size 42 waist. I basically went from a size 34 waist to a size 42 waist, because those last years of my recovery, I was drinking a bunch of IPA beers, and I really got out of shape. So one of the first things I did in my first year of recovery is, like, get back into some type of physical fitness, whether that's like the gym or running or walking, like doing anything, right? And again, it's something where it's like if the winter is that bad and there's so much snow on the ground, and you're somebody who, through the first 6 months of your recovery, or the first year of your recovery, or even the first week or 2 weeks of your recovery, like used running and walking as a stress relief, I think it's important to still find some way to sweat, you know?
To get back to that.
Yeah.
Even if it's, I noticed that what I would do, if the weather wasn't conducive to me working out and I wanted to get outside, I would do something as simple as get to work an hour early, 45 minutes early, and take a nice long walk. Especially that's one thing about the cold, is you get those nice deep breaths and you can take in that nice cold fresh air. That's, you know, probably one of the only things that I like about the winter is taking in that nice cold air and breathing it out, you know what I mean? And expanding your lungs and getting that nice walk in. And I know for myself, I got away from that recently, and it's something that I definitely will be this coming week getting back to, is just taking that nice long walk. It gives you some time to, you know, process your thoughts. We get to see what's going on, you know, outside of nature. Nature, you know, nature never really hurts when you look at nature.
Dude, and I remember, like, my first mentor, like, he was this guy who'd been sober for 20 years, and I met this guy. I was crying my eyes out. I, like, vomited my sobriety story all over him, and I'm like, dude, like, show me the way. Tell me what's going on. And one of the things that he said that always stuck with me was, he's like, I wake up negative every single day. And I chuckled, I laughed, right? Because I'm like, yeah, so do I. Like, the first thing I think out of bed is like, fuck this person, you know? I'm like super, you know, mad at people, places, and things. Like, I'm super agitated. And for me, you know, I need to have that rock solid morning routine, whether that's a workout, whether that's like a 10-minute meditation, whether that's doing a little reading that I do. Like, to start my day with that kind of structure is so grounding. So it's not like, you know, I'm going to go in and confront, because who knows what's going to happen, right? My day might start and my mom might say something that really gets on my last nerve. And if I don't take that time in the morning, particularly, you know, in the winter when, you know, it's a little dreary, to like take a second and do the things I got to do for me first, it's going to be a bad day. But if I take the time to like do what I got to do, whatever my morning routine looks like, and I make sure I wake up early enough to be able to do it, my day always seems to go a little bit better.
Yeah, that's 100%. I can definitely agree with that. That the way I start my day up tends to dictate the way my day is going to go. You know, and if I start my day off with, listen, and this just reminds me, and y'all on the channel know that I've been struggling over the past, you know, month or two with seasonal depression and just not feeling motivated. Where I remember little things that I used to do. I used to go downstairs in my basement and get on a wrestling mat and stretch out and, you know, take a hot shower. And those little things, you know, they make your day go so much better. I know for myself they do.
Yo, I heard
my day go way better.
I heard this. I don't know if this is true or where this came from, but it said that your day, whether you're going to reflect and be like, this is a good day, or this was a bad day, or this was a stressful day, or this was an awesome day, that's decided in the first 30 minutes upon you wake up. So you wake up and your mind goes, this is a great day, or I'm feeling anxious and depressed. And however you feel in that first 30 minutes is how you're going to feel about the entire day.
Listen, well, if it's not a fact, we're going to make it a fact right
Yeah, listen up, right?
It's our fact.
We're
if it's not a
deciding,
fact, we're going to make that a fact.
Hey, this is attorney James HELM at Top Dog Law here, just giving you one tip on how I stayed stopped. Anybody can stop drinking or using drugs, but staying stopped is what's difficult. For me, one thing I did early on was I always had an exit plan. Particularly if I was around the people, places, or things that triggered me, I always had a way out. I always had a reason, an excuse, whatever you want to call it, prepared for if I got triggered or if I didn't feel comfortable in a certain situation, I would be able to leave. When you're first getting sober, it's super important. Always have an exit plan.